All right, so normally you would have a collection connection video today, but since my brother is having his house renovated, and it ain't like a renovation like what we did. I mean, his house is being torn apart, so it's a lot of noise, a lot of people there, and he's not able to make a video this week. So hopefully next week he can make a video. But right now it just was too hard for him to do. So I'm going to be doing this instead. So I hope that's okay for a Monday. Hello, VC. Plastic Eric here. Plastic Soundwave called. Here for a drawing entry for the vinyl community's Steve Carlson. He has a great way to enter his drawing, and that is by making a video of 4 albums that have either been VCLT to you or been inspired for you to get by someone in the VC. And so in order to make this video short, I cut out a lot of people that have inspired me to get albums. I've only ever gotten VCLT once. From somebody that would be in the VC. So the first record I want to talk about here, the person who VCLT'd this to me is not actually in the VC, but he watches all of my videos as far as I know. And that's my very good friend from high school, Tom. We've been friends for decades now. And he lives up in Vancouver, Washington. And I like to go up there and visit him every so often. And I go to Portland and Vancouver, and I go record digging. And he had picked up some deals looking around. And he had a box of records that he got for like $5. And one of the records in there he wasn't interested in having, but I wanted to get was Guns N' Roses, The Spaghetti Incident. So he gave me this, and I found out when I got it home that it was pretty rare. And for as much as people like kind of give this album some shit, I think it's pretty good. I think Guns N' Roses do pretty good on all of these covers that they do. And that's what it is. It's all a bunch of covers. Since I Don't Have You, New Rose, that's from The Damned. Down on the Farm, Human Being, I think that's UK Subs. Raw Power, that's the Stooges. Buick McCain, that would be, I think that's Soundgarden. Hair of the Dog, that's Nazareth. I Don't Care About You, that's Fear. And they do a pretty good job, I think, on all of these covers. I know a lot of people paying this album, but if you give it a chance, it's actually really good. Came with a nice inner sleeve. And funnily enough, for an album that was, you know, that came out when vinyl was basically dying, they put it on orange colored. So it's funny to me because I like it, because it's like this record is stained by the Spaghetti Incident. And so yeah, Guns N' Roses, The Spaghetti Incident, for my buddy Tom. Thank you very much, Tom. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And so the next person I'd like to say thank you to is my brother. He's not only given me VCLT, but he has also inspired me to get stuff. There's been a few things that he sent me that were awesome. One of the things that he got me for my 50th birthday, he got me 5 records. We did a video on this last year. And one of those records was Spoon, Give Me Fiction. Now, I believe, Steve, you have this album. And you have the regular version. I've got the super deluxe version, I guess. Which has a whole other record for all of these demos and remixes. The album comes with a big giant poster, which I'm not going to open. And the inside has a book in it, which is on the wrong side. But as you can see, my favorite kind of book. It has lots of pictures. And symbols. And so I'll admit that at first all of this music in one go was kind of a little bit daunting, but it's actually kind of nice because I'll listen to this album sometimes and then I'll go and I'll listen to this one sometimes. And so you kind of get like a 2-for-1. Normally I'm not a big fan, like when on CDs they added a bunch of songs. But yeah, this here, they do a pretty good job of it. And, I can listen to it all in one go, but it's nice to be able to split it up. And so, Spoon, Give Me Fiction, one of the many things that have been given to me and inspired by my brother, Bryce. Thank you, Bryce. Now, the first VCLT that I ever received from somebody in the VC was from John at the Digital Gramophone. Makes no sense. He had a contest and he sent me a record my way for the effort that I had put in for the video. And so I still have it now. It's a fantastic album. I wasn't too sure about it at first when I first got it, but the more I listened to it, I like the concept behind it. It starts off where you're in like the Palm Desert area of California and you make your way to LA, and it's the interludes in between some of the songs are like radio announcements, and so you can hear the difference as you go from the Palm Desert to the Inland Empire and then on into LA. Yes, it's a great album. I pull it out all the time. I want to thank John so much for sending this to me. I love listening to this in the car. It's a fantastic album to listen to in the car. And so, again, I always will have John the Digital Gramophone to thank as my first official VCLT. Thank you, John. All right, this next one I showed recently in a video, so I don't have to go too much over it. But again, I was watching Patrick at the Vinyl Archivist. He has a show on where he does his recordings. I try to catch his streams every Friday, Sunday, and Tuesday. He does a really good job of recording music. Sounds really nice to put on a set of headphones and just listen to his recordings, and he takes requests and everything. If you get a chance, you should check it out. But one time it was him and Ron Beaudry were on there, and Ron Beaudry heard him play this band, and he kind of played a few songs from this album, and it is Grand Funk Railroad, Closer to Home. I listened to it on there and thought it sounded really good. And so based on their, what they were saying about Grand Funk Railroad, I wasn't that familiar with them before. I knew a couple of their big hit songs, but I didn't realize how good some of their other stuff was. And so that made me go out and get this. So I want to thank Ron Beaudry and Patrick, the Vinyl Archivist, for sharing that music. There's actually a lot of music on Patrick's stream that I don't know, that I was around for, but I was kind of listening to different music in a different direction. So it's kind of funny because he says that we call up stuff that he'd never really listened to back in the day, and it gives me a chance to listen to stuff that he listened to back in the day, but I didn't listen to back in the day. And so, yeah, this is a great album. If you get a chance, get it. This is the music on vinyl, so I believe it's a German pressing. So this is not the original, but man, this is a banger. So if you get a chance, Grand Funk Railroad. You probably, everybody else already knows, but if you're, a big dummy like me, then you should check them out if you haven't yet. And also, Cosmic Brian has encouraged me to get more Grand Funk Railroad. So when I go on my trip this summer to go record digging at my buddy Tom's, definitely going to be looking for some Grand Funk Railroad. So thank you, Cosmic Brian. Thank you, Ron Beaudry. Thank you, Patrick at the Vinyl Archivist. Okay, so that's my 4 things that were, I was inspired by or got VCLT from. Oh, that's right. There's one more. There's one I bought directly because of Steve Carlson, and that would be Endless Boogie, Long Island. This is a great, great album to listen to in the car. In fact, I listen to it very often, either going to or coming back from LA, because I'm about an hour and a half from LA. And so I tend to go down there and like if I'm going to go to Amoeba Records or like LAX or something like that, I'll throw on a little Endless Boogie, because all of these songs are long. I think the shortest song is like 6 minutes and 13 seconds. And they all are just long, hypnotic. They're cool to listen to when you're just kicking it in a chair. They're cool to listen to when you got stuff you got to do around the house and it's in the background. And it is awesome in the car. And I think I ended up getting some Rammstein. I ended up getting some Rammstein because of Steve and this album here. But this album here was a big surprise for me. He just played a little segment. I did like how Steve does, and I just went balls to the wall and just said, I'll get it and see how it sounds. And it's one of my favorite albums. I love listening to this thing. In fact, the problem is trying not to listen to this album. And so, I'm one of those people, I want to listen to everything in my collection. And so, yeah. Steve, thank you very much for turning me on to Endless Boogie. And I'll be looking for more of these guys when I'm on my record digging trip too. So, it ain't just about the music. And I'm sorry, Steve, there were no cats in this one. They all actually behaved today. Who knew? They must... But they're around.